Hello and welcome everybody. Today we're celebrating 40 years, more than 40 years, 44 years of Taylormade driver technology. My contention today is that driver technology kind of, it was flat for a while, and it went for 20 years of this driver explosion of technology and revolution, right? And then it kind of is plateauing again. And my contention is that that's a good thing for golfers, because you can enter golf, you can buy a 10-year-old driver and have it still be a viable implement on the golf course. You're not left out to dry like you did for that driver boom, right? You had to buy the latest and greatest every year because it was advancing so quickly. Let's have a look, okay? So 1979, Taylormade comes out with the Pittsburgh Persimmon. It's a steel driver. It's exactly the same size as a Persimmon driver, if not a little bit smaller. Yeah, but it's made out of steel, right? So Kip could run over it with Uncle Rico's van and it would not, break. So really durable steel heads here. Yes, all right. So 10 years later, 1990, all right? What have they done to advance the Pittsburgh Persimmon? This represents the 1990 Pittsburgh Persimmon. They've changed their logo. It's exactly the same. Look, it's exactly this. What's changed? It says Pittsburgh Persimmon here on the toe, but look at it. It hasn't changed, all right? So you can see there wasn't a lot of driver development or technology advancements through the 80s. Yeah, Yonex came out with a cool graphite one, but we're talking about Taylormade here, all right? So very similar, and then, Callaway introduces the Big Bertha, and then all of a sudden there's this space race of technology there, right? Well, Yonex is pushing carbon fiber, and Mizuno's going to put a carbon fiber insert in their Persimmon, and now we have titanium. Ruger steel, McGregor comes out with titanium. Mizuno comes out with titanium drivers. And then Taylormade's going to come out with a titanium driver. Okay, let's see. We're talking about the advancements here. Starting from 1990, okay? So 1990 to 99, Taylormade has come out with a titanium driver in 99. So look, wow, there's an advancement. That's a noticeable difference. You're going to see and feel that difference. The volume, there's a tungsten weight in the back, more forgiveness, the roll and bulge advancements. I mean, wow, And look, it's longer too. So you're going to get more distance because it's longer and lighter and it's made out of titanium, which is great. So in 10 years, it's a noticeable difference, not like the previous 10 years, all right? And then between 2000 and 2009, so 99 to 2009, 2009-2010 era, whoa, now we're talking about some serious advancements here. Look at the size difference here. Again, noticeable size difference. And I want to point some things out here. Adjustable hosel, right? And a weight in the back. We kind of missed one step here with the R7, adjustable weights in the back. User adjustable. To me, this isn't a huge advancement because people just put lead tape on their drivers, beforehand. I've seen R7s. Yes, R7s with lead tape on them. Can you imagine how I feel? I think they do it as a joke, but it's an R7 adjustable weights, and it's not lead tape. It's actually manufactured with this idea that you can adjust the weights. I always joke with people. I'm like, because when this came out, Ping has since changed their ways, but I always joked with them, you know what? Ping sets up their drivers in the factory before they sell them. You're so funny, vintage golfer. All right. So we don't want to forget that either. All right. So 1989, 1990, 1999, 2009. All right. So you're seeing where we're going with this. And then have we started to plateau here with the R9? Okay. Well, my current driver is a 2017 Taylormade M2. All right, so the same size as the R9, 460cc. That hasn't changed. Carbon fiber top, which one of the reasons why I like it is because it has that loud crack to it instead of this like tink. I really like the sound of it. It's loud and I think it sounds good. So I like the M2. And I hit the Stealth 2 this year. I've hit the Stealth last year. And they're not that much better than my M2. So I don't feel any need to change. I'm not going to drop hundreds of dollars for maybe a little bit more forgiveness, and maybe another couple of yards. So I love the M2, all right? But look at what's changed, okay? So the R9 has an adjustable hosel. The M2, adjustable hosel. Has the weight in the back on the M2, very similar to the weight in the back on the R9. So wait a second, what has changed? Not much. Oh, there's a slot right here that they stole from Adams, but they bought Adams out. Either way, not much has changed realistically. I hit the R9 very similar to how you hit the M2. I hit the M2 very similar to how you hit the Stealth 2 or Sim 2. Pick one of the Taylormade drivers. So in my mind, this all is screaming to me that the driver boom is over. The technology has plateaued. Not saying you're not going to customize a driver one for another. Like they have a low spin model, they have a, they'll have a high launch model, they'll have a draw model, they'll have, a max model, all sorts of different things catered to different individuals. But driver technology as a whole isn't advancing that much, which I think is good. Let me know your thoughts. Is this good for golf to have the plateau? Like if somebody shows up at the golf course with an R9, I don't even think twice about it. I don't know, oh, look how old this thing is. How do you play with old technology? And then what am I going to do, pull out my M2? They're like, oh, it's the same technology, but I have a carbon fiber crown and it has this big white stripe down the face of it. Look, I'm on the top line. Is that technology really changing your logo? All right, so anyway, I love talking about stuff like this. So you can see here, 40 years. Let's put some of these down and let's focus on the difference over the last 40 years. I'm going to use the M2 just as a comparison. I know it's dated. I know it's 2017. But just for size comparison, okay, this has changed in 30 years. Look at that. That's substantial, all right? And now it's kind of plateaued. So I think drivers will be in play a lot longer than they were at the beginning of the driver boom, because you had to upgrade every year to stay up with the latest and greatest, largest drivers. Whereas now you can just buy one that's 10 years old and it's perfectly viable. So, like irons were that way too. So let me know your thoughts. I'm excited to read in the comments below. Driver technology, 40 years, 44 years of Taylormade. With that said, we are diving into fantasy golf. I don't know if I reviewed the R7 yet. Have I reviewed the R7 yet? I know I just did the 580XD, the R580XD. Why are there so many letters and numbers in that driver? It's so weird. All right, fantasy golf. John Rahm, he won again. He kind of squeaked by. I remember when I was watching, was it the turn right around hole 9 or 10? I can't remember when it was, but it was tied. Like minus 16. Was it Homa and Rahm? It was close. So that 2-point swing there. Either way, it was great to see Tiger Woods. It was a great tournament. Here are the leaders. The weekly leaders and the season leaders. If you'd like to join us it's free, okay? If you want to play fantasy golf, it's free, everybody. Just sign up. PGA Fantasy Golf, just search for that. Sign up, create your account on pgatour.com, and then a reminder to everybody, set your roster before the tournament starts. So is there a tournament this weekend? I think there is. If there is, set your roster today's Tuesday or tomorrow, Wednesday, before the tournament starts, okay? So be sure to this is your reminder, set your roster. And then you too can be on the leaderboard here and with these great names. I hope I'm not number one. It's always embarrassing. It's like my league and I'm number one. I hope I'm not, because last time I checked I was. All right, it's all right. So anyway, looking forward to another fun season. I hope Tiger's at the Masters again. It's always great to watch. That's like where he looks so at home. Hopefully he is still on the upswing and recovering. He had a bad ankle, I think, in addition to his other leg woes. So great to see, great to see. I love watching golf. Let me know your thoughts and comments, everything. Driver technology, has it plateaued? And is that good? I think it is, because I'm kind of a consumer advocate. I like the idea of buying a driver and having it good for the next 5-10 years. Or being able to go out and buy a used driver 5 years old and you're not at a loss. You're not being outcompeted by people who are just buying their way to a better golf game. Does that make sense to anybody? Anyway, excited to read your comment. Huge shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. It does so much psychologically to know that I have some support, people backing me up. It just keeps me motivated to keep making these videos. Anyway, it's snowy here in Wisconsin, so I might do some more simulator golf, which isn't the most exciting thing for me personally. I like being outside. But at least we get to see some real numbers, some simulated numbers, some launch monitor numbers, some numbers that some computer came up with. And if you enjoy this content, please subscribe. You can support this channel by visiting us on Patreon, or there'll be a link in the description below, or my Amazon shop. I have that in the link in the description below too. I am an Amazon associate. I make proceeds from qualifying purchases. I have some golf. I have like a golf shop with like golf accessories and stuff on there. Go have a look. I make a few pennies from every sale, so that comes back to help this channel. And if you enjoyed this content, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. I am the Vintage Golfer.